Well, joining me now in the studio is Luke Campbell. Luke, thanks for joining us. You know what, I was going to jump straight in with the big question. Why politics? You were a boxer for how many years?
Good question. Yeah, I've been a boxer for 22 years.
22 years.
And to be honest with you, it's the only thing I ever did. You know, my probably biggest attribute was my discipline. But yeah, why politics? I think for Hull and East Yorkshire, the current leaders, the fielders, I've always been a part of the community, always been involved with the people. And I think the people deserve better. You know, we've forgotten about down there, and I think it's time that we have someone that can stand up now and fight for what the people want. And that is the only thing really that's inspired me to stand in this position and give back.
Yeah. So you're standing as the mayoral candidate in Hull for reform.
Yep.
My next question, we've done why politics, but why reform? Have you always been, you say, on the right of politics, or is this a journey for you as well?
Do you know what? I would say this is definitely a new journey for me. I've never really got involved in politics before, but looking at the way the country is now and how it's been run and all the lies and false promises, and I just think we need a change, you know.
So how did this role come to you? How did this happen?
Well, as all good things, it all started over breakfast. I was having breakfast with some friends, and they mentioned about this new mayoral coming up.
Because it's a new role entirely, isn't it? We should just explain that.
Yes.
You would, if you were elected, you'd be the first mayor of Hull.
That's correct, yeah. I think it changed in government in November 24.
Yeah.
Is when they made this new role. But yeah, I was just basically, he mentioned about the new mayor role coming up, and I said, wouldn't that be a legacy story? You know, the people of Hull and East Yorkshire backed me my whole journey, and now I stand to fight again, but not in the ring, but for the people.
Yeah.
You know, for the people that backed me, I'm now backing them and fighting for what they want.
Do you worry? So let's talk a little bit about this role then, because as we just said,
yes,
it's a new role.
Yeah.
Does that not present its own set of challenges that you're going to have to figure out on the fly, both how to be a politician, but then you and everyone around you is going to have to figure out how being a mayor of a new municipality, a new area actually works? Is that something you think about as well?
It's what I think about is that it's a huge responsibility for the people, because the last thing I ever want to do is let them down. So now I'm taking this challenge on myself and putting a lot of responsibilities on me to deliver. Now, obviously, you know, we're in the election now. I've got to be voted in to win. But, you know, there's a lot of new challenges, and I feel like that's where I thrive best, under new challenges. I'm a quick learner. Just take the politics to a side for a second, and we've got to look at this Hull and East Yorkshire, what it needs, what the people's asking for, and then just go in and attack that one at a time. But it's certainly a huge responsibility for myself. And you know what? I'm in a position now that I don't need to be in. I don't need it. For me, it's not a career move. It's not a new job. I don't need a job. I was solely inspired by what I could do now for the community and the people. And Hull's a special place for me. You know, I've travelled around the world within boxing, been to the nicest places. I always come back to Hull. And what makes Hull and East Yorkshire special is the people. And that's what I want to stand up for now.
I want to talk a little bit about the people of Hull, because you must be out on the doorstep already, getting to know the people of Hull and those who would be your voters.
Yeah.
What's the mood on the ground? You mentioned lies earlier. Tell us a little bit about that. You feel they've been let down by politicians?
So we've got two candidates that one's the head of East Riding Council and the other one's the head of Hull City Council. And because this new role's coming up, you know, they can say what they promise to do and what they promise to deliver. But the sad thing is, they've been in power now a couple of years and they've had the capability of doing the things that they say they're going to do, and they've done nothing. They've done nothing.
Right. Do you think, given that you're new to politics, you are at a slight natural disadvantage, that you've got to figure this out on the fly?
I think the reasons in why I'm doing it will excel more than politics will be. And can Hull and East Yorkshire be in a worse place with the politics that's already been involved? I'm coming in from a completely different angle. I'm fresh, I'm young, I'm full of energy. I'm putting the people first. Now, I don't believe that's ever been done.
I was reading a profile about you. I think it was in the Express. So I just want to touch on some of the things I noticed in that. So your family, were they lifelong, are they Labour? Did you come from a Labour background? Yes. Is that right?
Yeah.
So now here you are with the Reform Party. What's the family reaction to that? Is everyone on board with that?
We're all on board with that. You know, I think how can you not be? We see the way the country's been run. We see all the promises that it was to get elected, and then when they did, they've done the absolute opposite to that.
But what things specifically? What things are important to the voters there that you were talking about?
What's important to the voters?
Yeah. Those things that you feel the voters have been let down. What specifically are you targeting there?
Well, I'm targeting that I'm not another politician. I'm not going to make fake promises. I'm not going to talk around the subject without directly answering the question. And I'm in it for them solely, for the people, to try and better them and put them first. And it's not a career move for me. So if they put the trust in me, just make sure that I'm going to do the utmost to deliver.
So what things will those promises be? What are you saying to the voters of Hull? Okay, you're not a politician and that has its own appeal.
But I do have businesses, which is completely different.
Right.
I run businesses, I employ people, I pay your business rates, your tax, your VAT, everything. You know, I work with people day in, day out. What the biggest difference is, me compared to the rest of the candidates, is that I'm connected with the people. I'm on the ground every day. I'm all about Hull. I'm on the streets of East Yorkshire. I'm everywhere and I'm talking to the people. There isn't another candidate that does that. You know, the leaders of the council, they're not connecting with the people. I feel like I'm connecting with them and I'm listening to them. And I come from their point of view. I come from a working black background where, you know, I brought up in a rough area and I worked hard in one sport and I was successful at that. But I've never treated anybody any different. I always treat everybody as equal, no matter what you've got or what you're doing. Everyone's equal to me. The only thing that I appreciate is if you come up to me and we talk and you've got manners and you're a nice person, we'll get on.
Are you concerned about working, if you're elected, you're going to have to work with a Labour government with a big majority? Are there going to be clashes there, particularly you're a new kid on the block?
Probably, but I think the new mayor's role, it's all about uniting, not dividing. So the job would be to unite and work with everybody. And I feel like when you get to know me, I'm a good person and that's what I like to do. I like to work with people. So
you'd be willing to work on a sort of bipartisan basis, where possible, work across party with Labour, with the Conservatives, not in some sort of coalition agreement or anything like that, because you're the mayor, but
if it brings
in the council.
If it's all for the right reasons, if it brings in investment, if we can boost economic growth, if we can create jobs, if we can create better transport links and connect East Yorkshire and Hull, if we can work together on creating hubs that we can upskill our workforce, 100%.
Luke, I think we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for talking to us on GB News. That was Luke Campbell. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.